Hello, I'm Steve Cohn, Professor of Theology at Lincoln Christian Seminary. Recently, the contribution from Lonergan that I've been reflecting on in the light of the pandemic and the other crises that beset us is his notion of cosmopolis. Cosmopolis, as Lonergan discusses it in Insight, has to do with people joining together to pursue activities that are not meant to solve the problems of the moment, but to lay the foundations for a better day. Within Insight, Lonergan unsurprisingly emphasizes the way that cosmopolis works to develop theoretical, intellectual insights that would promote progress and overcome the foundations of personal and social decline. If we draw this notion into the wider horizon of Lonergan's later work, I think we can see that cosmopolis will also work to lay new foundations of compassion, kindness, justice, and love. As with many people, I've spent a lot of time these past few months being angry and afraid. There are many good reasons for experiencing these feelings, reasons that go far beyond the pandemic itself to the political and social world that we live in. What I find powerful about the notion of cosmopolis, though, is that solutions to the problems that beset us will not come purely by focusing on the problems themselves. Even if we could, today, find a way to end the pandemic, restore racial harmony, reverse climate change, and vote the bum out, the social surge that got us into this bad situation, these dire straits, would be largely unchanged. We should pursue all of these positive things. We ought to do them all. But even if we made progress in them, many of the problems, and others that I'm sure that you could add to the list I just gave, would just come back again in some other horrible form unless we can find a deeper way to change. Cosmopolis, precisely because it disconnects me from the unceasing urgency of the news cycle, draws me back to the ways that I actually can make a real difference for good in the world. This does not mean ignoring the pandemic, or injustice, or global warming, or the current political evil. We have to pay attention to the world around us and work for the good, for truth, and for justice, however we can. We have to stand together against the wrong. But however mad I get about things on social media, or with whatever voice that I have, I think that I contribute much more to the common good by working to foster conversion and genuine growth in the people among whom I live. And of course that means also pursuing deeper authenticity myself, not laying aside the disciplines that nourish and transform me, but being faithful. Writing, reading, teaching, thinking, nurturing, learning, praying, coming to deeper insights and working to communicate those, joining with others who do the same, forming a community that pursues the long-term good. Can these kinds of activities really be meaningful in the face of the fires that, in some cases, literally rage around us? Something I remember from Pat Byrne's wonderful course on Insight that's posted on the BC Lonergan Institute website is his explanation of what it means that the contributions we make to promote progress and undo decline are infinitesimals. Even though each contribution we make is tiny, relatively nothing, what we do does not stand alone. It is part of something larger. What we can do can have effects that go beyond anything that we can account for or even know, because it is joined to God's work of redemption. And if human history is to be anything other than the long defeat, as Tolkien puts it, that is where our hopes must lie.